Here with us now is Erika Sanders, the founder and executive director of You, Yes You Project. Erika, that is a unique name.
Thank you.
Tell me about You, Yes You Project.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. So excited to be here. You, Yes You Project is an organization that focuses on connecting incarcerated fathers with their children. So our mission is exactly that, is to help incarcerated fathers stay connected with their kids. And we do that by organizing activities inside prison facilities. We also provide each of our fathers with pre-release plans to help them have a successful reentry. And we also engage with their families during incarceration and after incarceration.
What caused you to start this work? I mean, there are so many different segments of population that need help. This is a pretty specific segment. What caused you to want to help them?
Well, two things. One, I grew up without my dad. So I often describe myself as a daddy's girl without a dad. So I intimately understand what it's like to try to navigate life without your dad. But I also understand that from a dad's perspective, oftentimes it isn't that you don't want to be a great dad, but maybe you just don't know how to be a great dad. And so I wanted to offer the opportunity for incarcerated fathers to connect with their children, because oftentimes incarcerated dads don't get the same empathy, the same support, the same attention as incarcerated mothers get, but kids need mom and they need dad.
Tell me about that. Growing up without a dad, what was that like for you?
Difficult. It's sort of like, you know that you have a big part of you, and it's not that it's missing, it's that it's there, but you just don't know much about it, right? And so you're missing so much of who you are, you know, your personality, you know, what you laugh like. You also miss a father's hand in teaching, and whether it's about boys or it's about friendship or about school, you're missing such a big part of who you are. And that was the case for me. My dad unfortunately passed away in May of 2019. And so even though our relationship was complicated, I also knew that my dad loved me, right? So it's a weird feeling trying to navigate knowing that a piece is missing, but the piece is missing, you know that they love you, right? So one of the things that we do with You, Yes You Project is share that with our dads and encourage them and inspire them to let their kids know, you know, who they are and why they made the decisions that they make, because it all sort of comes full circle for us.
And how's that going? Are you seeing a tremendous impact in the lives of the men you're helping and their families?
Absolutely. So we started as a one-off father-daughter dance in 2014.
Okay.
And what happened from that dance was we saw that there was a greater need beyond the dance. So we saw that if we wanted to connect fathers with their children, we first had to connect dads with resources. So that's one of the biggest things. So we have grown tremendously from a father-daughter dance to an organization, and we are currently in 2 facilities in Indiana. We are at Putnamville Correctional Facility, and we just started at Plainfield Correctional Facility.
Wow.
So we are able to, we've been able to expand and help more fathers and help more families. Commissioner Rob Carter, who's over the Department of Correction, is a member of our board. So that just says to the community and to our supporters and our funders that we are serious about our work and we're serious about our growth.
And about how many men and families are you serving?
Yep. So currently in our 2022 cohort at Putnamville, we have 25 fathers in our cohort. And at Plainfield, we have 19.
Wow.
And between both of those cohorts, we're looking at about 110 children.
Goodness.
So even though I try to explain to people that even though the numbers might look small with the fathers that we help, but if you look at it in terms of family impact, then you can see the greater impact of the work that we're doing.
That's a tremendous number of kids whose lives you can greatly impact. Tell me about the name, too. You, Yes You Project. I mentioned it right at the top. It's a unique name.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you name it that? What does it mean?
So the big part for You, Yes, You is the exclamation point after the last you. So the idea that if I walk in the room with you and you say to me, I'm just not quite sure if I can be a good host, then my job is to say, you, yes, you can absolutely be a great host. So that's our motto. That's how we talk with our fathers. That's how we talk with our kids. There's nothing that you can't do. So of course, you, yes, you can accomplish anything.
I love that. You just generally seem to ooze positivity. You're a bright person. The second you walked into the room, you're shaking everybody's hand and you just lit up the room. Where do you get that positive energy from?
You know, my dad,
Really?
Absolutely. So one of my favorite things currently about the work that I'm doing with You, Yes, You is learning more about fathers and fatherhoods. And my dad was a car salesman. And so my dad was like the life of the party as well. So what I'm learning to do is take some of that personality that my dad had and using it in my own way. So realizing that in all of the ways that I am like my dad, and even though he has passed away, it makes me happy. It makes me joyful, and it lets me know that even though he's not here, and even though our relationship was complicated, what's gonna live on forever is what you just described, the exuberance and the joy that my dad had for life and that I wanna pour into all of our families. So I can't help but to be excited about the work.
That is wonderful. For people who want to know more about your organization, how can they find out more? What's your website? How can they get engaged with the work you're doing?
Absolutely. So our website is youyesyouproject.com. They can find me on there. There's a donate button on there as well. You can also follow us on Facebook, You, Yes, You Project, and Instagram as well, where we share fatherhood updates. So you get to learn about our fathers and our families, about our initiatives, and also key information and data about families and how incarceration has impacted their lives.
Tremendous. Erika, thank you so much
Thank you.
for all the work that you're doing in our communities, and thank you for being with us tonight.
I appreciate it. Thank you.